Yo, yo, what is good? I've gotten in a trio of Nike Air Bursts, pairs I've had for quite a few years, not since their origin, these dating back to '02. These I believe released in '06 or late '05, the staple navigation, and then the Air SlimShady Burst, which I think is '03, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Produced in 2002, released in 2003 in a drawer box. If anybody has that box, please get at me. I would love to own that bit of cardboard. The master man himself, Wreckin' Rob, I will show on screen here in a minute, has hybrided these for me in our concocted variations using a Spiridon style outsole as well as a React 270 mid and outsole joint. So I am enjoying these for the first time. Major labor of love on his impeccable part, and can't even fully believe that they're back in hand and wearable. And so I am thrilled to show these off, and I'll let people see how good of a customizer he is. I'm trying to unlock my screen as I'm talking. So here is Wreckin' Rob's Instagram page, and that's a picture I took, and this is my shoe here. Videos showing some options that he was debating quite a while ago, if I'm not mistaken. And what else is on here? There's pictures I took that he posted of when I took my staples apart, and then that's his handiwork. And now they're here in the flesh. Probably need to give a little bit of pardon me, some touch up to the leather. And you know, you got to know going in that a hybrid is never going to mate up perfectly with the upper. There will be some points where it's just not perfect. It's not, the glue line's not going to match exactly. But knowing, hey, it's the medial side of the shoe, and on that, in that respect, and there's a tiny little glue line there, which I may be able to buff out, like just literally with some fine grit sandpaper, and then smooth over it with some ink oil. But I mean, look at that heel. Look how sick that is, the double air. And now it's all zoom. Worst this is ever going to do is, I guess in theory the zoom could puncture or deflate over time, but this will never crumble because of the Phylon rubber, and so I never have to worry about these getting swapped again. And I get the comfort of zoom, which I prefer over air anyway. Then the USA, the varsity red and royal blue, I think it's Sport Royal officially, went with the red outsole, got rid of the black, and these just look killer. See if he's got these on his page. I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, right here. So that was actually the first one he finished, and just cool to see him there. Now, I put blue laces in these. Yeah, he tagged me in that. That's a old picture I take. That's my blue laces. I gotta find them. I didn't send them to him, and I can't find them. So he threw me a bone and put some white laces in there for pictures and just to kind of get me by. But it does have the Dubray, the lace Dubray that's famous on the on all bursts. They all have that. Even the retro ones from '07 that were pretty terrible overall. So anyway, yeah, some really really cool stuff he does. I mean, look, I got to show off while I'm on here. Look at this custom. I mean, look at the recon work and just the sheer detail on these Doom 90s. Even the outsole, the insoles he had done. He had custom printed and then painted supervillain lace Dubrays. I mean, this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen customized in the sneaker world in my life. Look at that tongue patch. I mean, just the details. Like, if you like runners and you like Dooms, I have a pair of Doom Dunks, and I kind of helped him a little bit with the Dubray sizing, just kind of getting the measurements made for them so they could get as close as possible when they were printing them. But yeah, getting the customs done, picking the materials, just kind of showing bits and pieces of the process. It's just, yeah, there's not a lot of guys doing what he's doing on a small scale, and now he's making 12 tabs. So not to get on a big aside, but you know, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have these. So it's worth showing off his page, and just so you know what it looks like. He's a vet, and he's a good friend of mine, and there's not a lot of guys out there that could pull this off. I know Govern likes to do hybrids, but he frankly kind of turned these away when I talked to him. Back when Rob wasn't really doing a lot of hybrids, he was mostly doing swaps and reglues and some paint, a lot of good paint jobs. And he said, well, it's a big risk, and he didn't know what size to tell me. He kind of just said he couldn't do it. And so I'm glad I didn't go that direction, even though I think Govern does great work. But he's really into, you know, golf kicks and kind of turning kicks into golf spikes. And I love golf, but I have no intentions of doing that to a sneaker. I just go buy golf shoes. So, and I got my Chicago Duncan G's Nike Golf for that. But yeah, the Spiridon midsole should be a killer feel underfoot. You know, and these were in good enough shape to be worth swapping to me. Like, you know, this laser etched leather, it's not for everybody. This is actually a Jeff Staple collaboration. It's the second one he ever did. It's the second one he ever did. Sorry, I tried to pause it, and that wasn't going to happen. With Nike. And they came out pretty fantastic, in my opinion, with the kind of faux quilted liner and the quality of the leather used. They're just, you know, they're not worth throwing away. Like, they're worth keeping going. This thing is, they're going to rock forever. And the thing is, too, you know, you're looking at this up close. But when I'm standing above that, and it's this far off the ground, like, do you think I really care about some glue lines on the side? Like, no, I'm just happy the shoes are wearable, and I look down and that's what I see. I see something that just looks amazing overall and is super comfortable. And frankly, it's the upper that matters to me. That's what keeps them wearable. You know, whatever keeps them wearable to make the upper continue to live on. That's really where the money is to me. And then the Air SlimShady, mine is numbered, I think it's 943, 934 out of 1,000. And that is just a pair to be cherished. I put an awful lot of restore work into the uppers to make these even halfway presentable. They unfortunately went with the leatherette, kind of a sock liner on these, and so it does kind of crack over time. It's very, very thin. It's soft, and it still feels fine. With the sock on, you don't notice. But couldn't quite get the insoles in these because of the change to the midsole, but these are the original insoles. The Eminem A on there. And just to show kind of where they came from, this is the Shady Records insert. It's really not a shank, it's like a very flimsy piece of plastic. And then that's the original airbag, still holding air extremely well. I just kind of put them in plastic baggies to not really preserve them, but just because of all the foam that's around, and they're crumbling, and I don't really want to get foam dust every time I handle it. But I don't know what the hell I'll do with them, but I just found it funny to just seem like something that was fun to keep. But getting into the React midsole, you know, I think this pairs up quite nicely overall, maybe even better than the Spiridons. You can kind of tell over here, like, still has some kind of alignment issues with the heel on the medial side, but it covers up the arch better. And I think these came out just fire to give that original kind of a silver air look. And you know, keep a numbered, very limited shoe worldwide living on, and keep walking that 8 mile, right? So anyway, yeah, it's really is a wonder to have these. I am very blessed to get that work done, and you know, be able to show these off and show what's possible, right? Like, it is possible. Is it you know, does it take some patience? You bet. Does it take some kind of finagling with sizing and such? Yeah, it does. You know, this wasn't simple to come up with all the ways this would work out. This is a 12.5 midsole on a 13 upper. These are 13s, and they happen to line up pretty well. You know, one thing to show too is like the toe glue, like that's something I can probably buff off the glue again with a little bit of sandpaper and get those excess lines to disappear from the original toe cap on the outsole. This one for some reason didn't suffer that issue. Rob may have manipulated it a little bit to make it look clean, but it looks really, really clean on this particular toe. So, you know, each one's constructed a little different depending on the materials they used and whatnot. So anyway, that is what I got. I hope you enjoyed this, and give it a thumbs up. Cheers.